Welcome to Terrence's Thoughts, a monthly video where I share some financial ideas, money tips, and news that's been happening that relates to your financial well-being. I've been asked a couple of questions with regards to tax-free savings accounts and retirement annuities. Which one is better? Which one should I have? And should I have one or the other or both? So in today's video, I'm going to unpack these two types of products and the pros and cons to each. So thanks very much for reaching out, and let's get stuck into it. So a retirement annuity is a personal pension fund. Think of this as your own savings towards retirement. And why I call it a personal pension is to belong to a pension fund or a provident fund, you need to have an employer and an employee relationship. So should you be self-employed, an entrepreneur, a side hustler, or you are contributing to your company's retirement fund, but you'd like to contribute extra or be in control of where your money is invested, then a retirement annuity is a great offering. Now, not all retirement annuities are made the same. Not all are equal. So you get retirement annuities offered to you by the various life insurance companies in South Africa. You also get them offered to you by various investment companies. I want you to always look at retirement annuities from an investment company. We call these a LISP, Linked Investment Service Provider. And why these are so important is their fees are significantly lower than those offered by life insurers. Your investment options are far wider, and the benefit of not being locked into a contract. Let me unpack. If you have a retirement annuity, let me call these RA for short, with a life insurer, your contract says with that life insurer that I, Terrence, will contribute 500 Rand a month from today, every single month. Every year it will increase, and I will do this until I'm 55, 60, 65, whatever the age might be that you selected when you purchased this retirement annuity from this life insurance company. Many will offer you the opportunity to pause your contract in times of dilemma, such as a pandemic, life-changing events such as retrenchment, or if you go on maternity leave or paternity leave. However, many do this at a significant cost, and where it's not allowed and you need to stop contributing once again for a life event, sadly, there will be a massive penalty fee, as high as 15% of your fund value. So this is once again why I caution against using a RA from a life company. If you use one with an investment company, a unit trust provider for instance, or an ETF provider, it is still locked away until you are 55 years of age. This is in the Income Tax Act. However, it is not a contract. So you can increase your contributions on a monthly basis. You could decrease them. You can stop them. You can reinstate them. And you can do all of this free of charge. If you are charged a fee for this, you need to question it. The beauty of this solution is it adapts as life changes. The returns in both products would kind of be identical. It depends on what funds are selected, because an RA doesn't give you a return. I have a great podcast about this. I'm going to put it in the show notes, so please go and have a listen. But an RA is what we call a wrapper, or basically it's how tax and contributions are handled within your investment structure. So you now have your RA, and once again you have listened, and you've got this at a unit trust company, or an investment company should I say. And if you don't and you need help moving it from your life company to your investment company, let's have a chat, because sadly there may be a penalty fee, but often over time that penalty fee is far better to pay it today and have lower fees in the future and flexibility of contributions than it is to stick it out. So should you have an RA or a tax-free account? Well, let's unpack a tax-free account. Personally, I think this is probably the best investment solution that's come out of the South African Treasury in the last 6 years because it came out in 2015. It is aimed at the average investor in South Africa. So this is not for you wealthy guys with deep pockets. Here's a couple of things you need to consider with a tax-free account. You can contribute to this either on a monthly basis or in lump sums, as regular or irregular as you like. However, at the moment, your contribution limit is 36,000 Rand per person. That means you can only put in 36,000 Rand from your pocket into your tax-free account. This doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you must. It is a limit on the product. And it's designed for the wealthy not to come and put in hundreds of thousands of rands or millions of rands and get around paying tax. If you can afford to put in 36 grand a month, 36 grand a year or 3 grand a month, please do so. However, if you can only afford 100 rand a month, please do so too. A tax-free savings account or a tax-free investment account, a Tfsa, is a long-term investment solution. Please don't use this for your emergency fund. Please don't use this to put money in and take money out as and when you need it or every year or two. This product is really designed for 10 plus years. There is a further limit on the product, and that is you can only put in 500,000 Rand in your lifetime. Now, I'm recording this in January 2021, so that's where these limits apply. And National Treasury do increase these from time to time. As when this product came out, it was a 30 grand a year limit. It moved up to 33,000, and now it's 36. And no doubt over time, that 500,000 Rand limit will be increased too. So please don't worry about that. I want to just provide some clarity as this question comes up often. That limit is contributions. Firstly, let me remind you, you don't have to. If you only put in 1,000 Rand a month, which is 12 grand a year, that is perfectly fine. Now, that limit is contributions. It is not a limit on growth. So the money you put in will grow. The money you put in should earn dividends and should have capital growth and interest, depending on what asset classes you mix. And that's for another video. Now, as this money grows, it will exceed 36 grand a year, and it will exceed 500,000 in your lifetime. And that should be celebrated because that's what it's designed for, and that's why you have this product. So please don't worry about that. Why I say this is a long-term investment. If you do put in 36 grand a year, it's going to take you about 13 to 14 years to reach your 500,000 limit. Now you leave this thing alone and you let it continue to grow. And one day you now need money and you want to either draw it out as capital in lump sums or as a monthly income. Guess what? Tax free. It's exceptional. So that's where the magic in this product happens. So which one should you have? Probably both. What are the tax benefits? Let me unpack these a little bit too. Retirement annuity contributions, meaning the money you put into your RA, whether it's monthly, lump sums, or both, you can deduct from your taxable income, meaning you can reduce what you pay to SARS, and you would be entitled to a refund on a portion of those contributions you allocate to your retirement annuity. I'm keeping this rather simple, but what that essentially means is up to 45% of the money you put into an RA, you can get back from SARS. How's that? That's a gift. Wonderful. Take it. I mean, imagine putting in 1,000 Rand from your pocket, SARS gives you back 450. You've just made a 45% return. There are, however, some limitations on an RA. So the money you put in, you can't get out. It's designed for retirement, meaning you can only access it from age 55 if you financially emigrate from South Africa, and this is a whole nother story, or if you become permanently disabled, you could then retire early. So please note, what goes in doesn't come out unless those events occur. This product is designed to look after you for one day when you retire and to provide you a monthly income. So the growth within an RA, like your pension fund and provident fund, is tax-free, like the tax-free savings account. However, you can only get it out when you're 55 or older, and it must pay you a monthly income. Now, at that point in time, it may be taxable. That again, we need to look at individual circumstance, as I have a couple of clients getting money out of their living annuities because they've converted their retirement annuity to a living annuity to pay them this income in retirement and are paying virtually no tax at all. However, sadly, one of the drawbacks for many investors with a retirement annuity is something called Regulation 28, and this is in the Pension Funds Act. And what it says is your retirement annuity, pension fund and provident fund, as well as preservation funds, must keep 75% of their investable assets in South Africa. Now, over the last couple of years, growth in South African asset classes like the stock market has been exceptionally subdued and sadly often below inflation. However, I still believe an RA has its place from a tax planning and estate planning and also from a people planning point of view. And what I mean by that is people are often very poor with their money. So by locking it away, it's actually to your benefit. So I have an RA, and I think everyone should have some sort of structured retirement vehicle. However, again, it depends on you and your personal circumstances. Now, your tax-free account, your contributions are not tax deductible. So you get nothing back from SARS. So you put in your $1,000, you're still putting in your $1,000. You don't get $450 back, sadly. But you get complete tax-free growth. Yay. And when you need to get the money out, completely tax-free. Yay. So there's pros and cons to both. And I think that's what's very, very important. Now, within your tax-free and your RA, you have the choice of making use of money market. So this is at your banks. Your mixed class of assets such as cash, bonds, property, and shares through an ETF or a unit trust. And this has got to go down to your personal circumstances and what you're looking to achieve. Now, this has been a lot of information, but I still want to unpack it a bit more. So here's some food for thought. I have had a few questions and I thought I'd like to answer them for you. Should you open a Tfsa for your children? There's both camps. People say yes, people say no. I think they're fantastic. I have one for my daughter. I think parents should open them for their kids if they plan on keeping them long term. And this could be now the wedding fund. That's why I have one for my child. And yes, we're using your children's annual limit. So what? Do you really think little Johnny is going to be so sad with you when he turns 21 and you go, Johnny, here's 2.5 million rand, my boy. Go buy your first house, cash. Go buy your first car, cash. I don't think he's going to be too upset with mom and dad. However, personal circumstance applies again. Got to consult with your financial planner and see if it fits in with your investment objectives. Unpacking a bit of fees. Ladies and gents, in both these products, you're going to have a number of fees. You're going to have the investment manager fee. This is the people that manage the unit trust or the ETF. You're going to have the administrator. This is where you have your money. So these are the guys that give you the internet platform to log in or the app on your phone. They handle the collection of your debit orders. They send you statements and tax certificates. They charge a fee. Then you might take on financial advice. And there will be a fee for that. Either it will be in the product or out the product, and that's for you to discuss with your financial planner. And lastly, there could be something called other. Now, other depends where you purchase these products, could be these boosters that are offered by various companies. Please look at these with caution. So what I urge you to get is something called an Eac Statement, your effective annual cost. And this should be provided to you by your service provider within a day or two. And it's going to have a little table. And in that table, it's going to show you these fees I've spoken about. I want you to cast your eye to the right where it says investment to term and look all the way at the bottom. It's going to have a percent. If that is more than 2%, please consider making some changes. More than 2% a year in annual fees for everybody is very, very expensive. So please consider that. Now, in closing, I want you to think of your RA and your tax-free account, like I've said, as long-term investments. If you see my eyes cast off, I'm just looking at my notes on my screen. All right. So think of that. Now, depending on where you invest, as you know in the marketplace, and you may have experienced personally, money goes up and money goes down. Investment markets move in cycles. I just want to give you some numbers to consider. So, if you invest and you see that your investment is down 10%, it means it's got to go up 11% to break even. If you're down 30%, you've got to go up 42% to break even. And sadly, if your investment value halves, bad, eh? You've got to double up. It's got to make 100% return to get back to where you were. So please don't think of these as detrimental. It's part of an investment cycle. And as an example, in March, April of 2020, when our local market went down over 30%, it recovered and it ended the year up, completely recovered its losses. Now, if you were emotional and cashed out at that point in time, you locked in your losses, meaning you've never recovered. That is terrible. So please, when reviewing your statements, don't only look at the rands and cents. Look how many units you're buying in your unit trust, or look how many units of the ETF you're buying every month. Those are your assets. That's what you need to accumulate, and that's what you need to focus on. So as important as returns are, minimizing risk is equally important, as well as managing your own expectations. I hope you found today's video valuable. I look forward to hearing from you. Do check out terencetobin.co.za for blogs, videos, and my podcast. Take care and safe investing.